Welcome back to Artist to Artist. Today I'm joined by Dana. Dana, thanks for joining us.
You're welcome.
Are you ready to jump into the questions?
Yeah, let's do it.
How do we know each other?
Oh man, we worked at the Attorney General's office together back in what was it, 2003?
Yeah, about like 50 years ago, I think.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah, did more goofing off than working, but yeah, this is a good time. Can you describe yourself?
I'm an organized person that loves art. It's not necessarily a natural combination because usually when you have an artistic person, they're usually pretty scattered. I love like art and painting, but I also love the business aspect of things too. I like to keep things organized. I like a schedule.
So, what do you do?
Right now, I would say I am a multi-creator. I dabble in photography still. I've always loved painting with different mediums. My favorite medium to paint with has always been oils. I've been dabbling with small art and painting with gouache and watercolor. I've been painting with watercolor a little bit more.
What is art?
I mean, art is whatever you want it to be. I really think that it really is anything. Art could be pen to paper, it could be, paint to paper. But I mean, art is also music, it's also
Mhm.
words. So it's a feeling. I feel like art hones in on to all of our senses. So it really is anything you want it to be.
What beautiful thing have you seen recently?
I would say it's probably stuff with my children. How they interpret the world is a really beautiful thing, especially with, I feel like, how broken the world is right now.
What is creativity?
It's just whenever you get a chance to create something. I remember listening to your last podcast that you interviewed yourself, and it's like, especially with AI, I mean, like, I feel like creativity can be overridden by the digital world. And so I feel like creativity is really anytime someone puts themselves out there and creates something.
What scares you artistically?
Being judged by everybody and failing and creating something beautiful that people, well, I might think it's beautiful, but maybe someone else doesn't think it's beautiful.
What's the hardest thing about making art?
For me personally, like finding the time, it's on my vision board this year is to like create more art, but it's like with just the pressures of life and the pace of life and having a family and working, it's like finding the time and energy to actually create my own art.
Do you have a habit of like drawing something or making something each day?
No, I wish. I do love I mean I do social media even though I don't post a ton. I love following the like doodle day prompts and
Mhm.
like reading what those prompts are. I think about art every day and what I want to create, but actually getting a pen to paper or paint to paper doesn't always happen.
When did you realize you were creative?
I would say I was between the ages of 3 and 5.
Hmm.
I remember creating these rainbows or these rainbow fish. Like
Mhm.
I had purple, green, and blue, and I would like draw these fish and then I would blend these colors together and I would try selling them.
What inspires you?
Sunlight is very inspiring. Palm trees are very inspiring. I would just say it's like little acts of kindness that are inspiring, and my kids are inspiring. I mean, they will say like the randomest things, and I'm like, man, that's really inspiring coming from a little person.
How can people become better artists?
I think everyone's a great artist in their own right. I think practice makes perfect, but I would say being a better artist means you're not letting the outside world affect you and your art. Because I think that if you let the world come in, then it kind of becomes a crutch and then it takes away from your creative ability.
Do you have a favorite color?
Do seafoam green. I love all greens actually, but I love green
Why do you make art?
because it makes me happy. It really
That's
does.
how can people see more of your art?
Well, it's not online. So I'm not the type of person that really like puts myself out there. So if people are really interested in seeing my art, I would say they would have to slide me a DM and then I will send them a photo or encourage me to post more if they're really interested in it because I don't share a ton of.
Guess if it's okay with you, I'll share some on this video so people can see it there. Yeah.
In my head, I'm like, do people really want to see this?
I think every artist thinks about that. Like, is this worthy of being put out? Real art is personal and it's kind of vulnerable to put it out there. So I totally get that. What's your favorite way to experience art?
I feel like organically, really. I mean, kind of just being immersed in the beauty of the world really helps.
What does all great art have in common?
Someone created it.
Nice. Do you have any favorite artists?
I've always loved Van Gogh. It's sad that he really struggled with sharing his art and feeling worthy of it. I've always just loved his art, especially when I was getting into oils. Loved his brush strokes and like it looks splendid, but it's not.
What do you wish people would do more?
Put their phones down, pay attention to the world, stop giving their kids iPads at restaurants so you have a conversation.
How do you feel when you make art?
I feel empowered and I feel relaxed. Yeah, I just love it. I just love it.
What are your plans with art in the future?
I would love to go to more schooling for art. I would just love to learn like different techniques. My goal is to paint more. Like I just want to create more.
Who should decide what art is?
I say only the person that created it should decide what their art is because everyone's interpretation is so different.
What are your favorite 100 things about me?
My favorite 100 things about you? Oh my gosh. You introduced me to Indian food. You let me call you Moo for so many years. You have great curly hair. I love your wife.
You're not counting these, Dana.
That was 7.
Do you have any questions for me?
What is next for you in the art world?
More of the same, which is a really good place. I haven't tried all the mediums. I never will try them all. So I just like I like that discovery process. Is there anything you want to say to the people out there?
Never stop creating.
Nice. Are there any questions I should have asked?
I don't think so. I think we covered everything.
Yeah, so it was a perfect interview is what you're saying?
Perfect interview, perfect time, not too much.
So thanks, Dana, for joining us today. And we'll be back with another Artist to Artist.
Thank you. Can't wait to see who's interviewed next. You know who inspired me to name my studio?
No.
Ew.
Really?
Like, Visa Studios has a nice ring to it. And I was like, yeah, it does.
Oh, I love that.
Box right here.
What's that?
Like I didn't realize I had a box.
Oh, don't worry about it. I'll probably put stuff in there.